Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to a day in van life. We'll have a couple options of how to spend the day together, kind of a choose your own adventure type of day. But hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about what my day-to-day life looks like in van life. So here's a close-up of a little morning kitty. I'm gonna cuddle up with her for a couple minutes, wake up a little bit more, and I will see you in a minute. And of course, there has to be equal cuddle time for this old man. All right, now that we've had kind of our lazy morning, then I always write in a goal setting journal that I have. I think one of the most important parts about intentional living is having goals specifically to work on. So I have like daily goals, weekly goals, all that kind of thing. I use like a specific goal setting journal, but there's some things I kind of would like to do to improve it. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing with my business, is creating a better goal setting journal that I think will be a really cool addition. So keep on the lookout for that in the future. I also am not going to lie to you, I do spend time browsing social media in the morning, updating Instagram and replying to messages. And yeah, obviously this week there is a lot of staring at the phone in the morning, what with the election happening. So yeah, I would love to say that I, just wake up and do completely healthy things from the moment I wake up, but I definitely get sucked into social media holes sometimes. Okay, you don't get to see the next part of the morning routine, but I got the nature's head under there, composting toilet, great addition. Now, the important things first, before I take care of any more of my needs for the day, I always take care of this girl and her brother. So letting Sterling out and getting them both fed. He doesn't really like to get out of bed though. Huh? Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go outside. Come on. Let's go. Up. There we go. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go, old guy. There we go, old guy. Yeah. Come on. For food, Kitty gets a mixture of wet and dry food, kitten food, and then Sterling gets reduced activity and senior food that I flavor with a little bit of lung dust from his treats, which is kind of gross, and then some water so that he will actually eat it. All right, so now that the pets are taken care of, I can take care of me, brush my teeth, do my normal chores. I don't drink coffee in the morning, but I do drink a lot of water. I just cannot handle caffeine. I don't do really tea, I don't do coffee, just straight tons and tons and tons of water. So when I wash my face, I either do it with just a normal cleanser. I use witch hazel if it's really cold and I don't want to deal with my cold water because I don't have a hot water heater. And then I follow up with a moisturizer, and that's it. I personally do wear a little bit of makeup. I also usually get like my nails done and stuff. I personally only recently really like reconnected with my like stereotypical femininity, with, you know, like shaving and putting on makeup and doing nails and all of that. And that was like kind of a power thing for me, reconnecting with that part of myself, with cooking and nurturing and dressing up. And yeah, not that it means that you're feminine if you wear makeup, but it's just something that recently I've gotten back into and I like it. You want to see something really cool? I shaved part of my head. I actually had my full head shaved for a little while, and then for some ungodly reason decided to shave just a little portion of it. So dumb. Now it just grows in so unevenly, but it's getting there. My biggest advice, don't shave half of your head. It's just not a great idea. One thing in van life is if you don't clean pretty much all the time, it just always sort of looks like a disaster. So right now, time to make the bed with my like 300 blankets on here. Right now I have all 3 of my amazing voided blankets, because it's been kind of cold the last few nights, so get nice and bundled up and stay really warm. Right now, I guess it's time to change out of my pajamas and into clothes for the day. I don't really know how to do that snap thing very well. Side note, I love my newest voided blanket. It has canyons on it. Nothing better than canyons in my opinion. So I don't normally eat breakfast, but I do make shakes in the morning. I have a bad habit of like not eating for most of the day. So if I have a shake, that usually ends up just letting me regulate some of my energy better. So I keep my blender down in my little drink compartment bar. And then I need to plug it into my inverter. I have a 1500 watt inverter. So plug it in and turn it on in the control panel. I try to only use my inverter when the sun is out because it does take up a lot of battery power. All right. And then in my freezer, I keep all the stuff for smoothies. So I have ice, cherries, spinach, an acai blend. And then I have a little meal replacement powder. I also like to put like bananas and stuff in there, but I don't have any today. chores are done at last, so now it's time to decide what we want to do with the rest of our day together. So I will leave this up to you. If you want to stay around camp, see what a typical day, just relaxing at camp looks like, what kind of things I do to keep myself busy, what I do for work, all that kind of thing, then just stay right here on this video. If you instead want to go on a little adventure, pack up the van, take off from here, and do something outside, then go to the link above, or I'll also link it in the bottom comments. So, your decision. What do you want to do with your day? So you have decided to stay here in camp with us today. So we will start the day with just a little bit of exercise. Either I do like a little bit of stretching in the morning or go for a walk or something just to kind of get the blood pumping a little bit. So let's go for a walk. It looks pretty nice outside. It's really, really sunny. It looks really beautiful. So yeah, let's get the animals outside and get going. We're working on coming when called. Come on, Anora. Come on. Good. So normally I boondock, which is like stay for free and not be in established campgrounds. I am in an established campground today. It is still free because it's the off season, but we are by a marina in Arkansas. There's not like a ton of boondocking that I could find on my apps here, so that's why I'm kind of more at this established campground, but it is still very beautiful. So I do walk Sterling off leash, but only when there's really like no other people around. Like on trails, he's really good at staying at heel, so I can put him on a leash if we see somebody else coming. And then you can see in this campground, we are completely and totally alone. So nothing to worry about. He will never, ever run away. I just, never want him to cause any issues as an off-leash dog. So we're careful about it, but when we're alone, he can just wander away. So I found some water right by this little lake here. I don't think Anara's really been around a lake before, at least not with me. So let's see how she reacts. So far, just seems to be chilling, checking it out. So we'll give her some time to just look at the water. It's my favorite activity to do too, so. So oftentimes I'm asked by people, what do you do all day when you live in a van? And I think part of that is based in this idea in our society that we always need to be busy, that every single part of our day needs to be doing something productive. When I worked in an office and you'd ask people how they were doing, the answer was always, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so stressed, it's been crazy. And I think that there's just more to life than that. I think it's okay to just sit and enjoy the moment and, enjoy the company of animals and the feeling of the sun upon your body and the sound of waves and, the feeling of wind And it's okay just to sit and relax and be in those times. And that's really what van life taught me, was to just slow down and enjoy those little moments and not have to be crazy busy all the time, because I'm not trying to afford some crazy house, and so I'm working all day to afford the house that I never get to be in. You know, it kind of gives you the time to just look and find cool little weird pine cones or cool rocks, and look at the different bugs and animals in the world, and find, you know, this childlike sort of joy and wonder in just being in nature all the time. And so yeah, I think that's really what van life brought me, more than anything. Inara, come on. Good girl. Also, training an adventure kitten teaches you to go slow. There's lots of amazing distractions out there in the world for her. She seems to be getting the hang of the shoulder hike. Oh, her little arm came out of her harness. She's so tiny. It's so hard to find harnesses that fit when she's this tiny, but hopefully she'll grow a little bit soon and fit it a little bit better. All right, so now that we're back, I have more van projects to do. One thing about living in a van is the projects never end, whether it's, you know, little construction projects or cleaning here and there. There's just always something to do. Got to put away all the dishes, getting my laptop fully charged up while the sun is out so I can run my inverter comfortably. Sweeping, always sweeping, multiple times a day sweeping. Now especially because I have a cat and there's litter everywhere. Also need to empty the litter box. I use these for Sterling and Kitty to clean up after them. I keep the litter box up front right here, and then I can just slide it on out to take care of it and clean it. Kitty has been getting more bold about leaving the van, so she has a big lead here. Eventually I'll get a little retractable one for her, but she's so tiny that the retractable leash will just like drag her back right now. So yeah, so she's just on a long lead at this point. Now it is nap time for the little critters, which means I sit here and respond to comments from you all, or update social media, or do whatever I need to on my phone, and just look outside and have a nice little quiet session. All right, now it is time for me to get down to business for a bit. Down there. Today I am working on creating some invoices for some corporate leadership development clients, and also working on the online course that I will be releasing in January, which I will be giving more information about that very soon. But to learn more, you can go to my website and get a free ebook that will relate to the course. So check that out in the description below. Also, my animals really like to be near me, so I got this little tent for Inara. She's got her toys and her little cat cave in there, and that way she can be by me outside without having to drag around the leash. And then Sterling, of course, just kind of chills next to me with his bed. So when working, I use my phone as a hotspot. I have Verizon, and that seems to work pretty well. And then if I'm like uploading videos or something to YouTube, then I try to find Wi-Fi at like a cafe so I don't use all my hotspot data. And then I think the biggest thing for like being self-employed on the road particularly is just like setting some strict deadlines around yourself, saying, you know, okay, this is when I'm going to be done with this project, seeing how it fits into the day. And then for me, it really helps to like schedule block hours to work. So like I'm going to work for the next hour straight, and then I'm going to take a break and do some stretching, do a little bit of exercising. Then I'll work for a few more hours. So that kind of helps me like add some structure to my day, because it can become like very unstructured when every day is a little bit different and every day's in the van. And, you know, I definitely thrive with a little bit of structure around my work. Lunch break. I always eat just pretty easy things for lunch. yeah, with food, I just try to keep it as easy as possible so that I'm like getting nutrients in me without spending a ton of time cooking, unless I want to cook like a nice meal for myself. Also try to intersperse my workday with a little bit of yoga or a little bit of exercise of some kind. Kind of helps break up the monotony of computer work and stretch my body. So I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you like, oh, I'm amazing at doing yoga every single day of my life. You know, I'm sure I could have some more discipline around it, but I do struggle with chronic pain. So at least getting out and stretching and everything every day really does help. I am not very good at just like exercising. I would much rather go like mountain biking or something like that. But on the days that I don't adventure, if I just do a little bit, it does really, really help me in the long run. So, been working on my website there, but I am finishing up work for the day. I think it's sometimes hard when you're self-employed. It's like, I mean, the work never ends, you know, there's always something you could be doing. So I personally try really hard to create some boundaries around that and just work, you know, mostly during the time that I am going to. And then of course there's just days where I work my butt off for, you know, 16 hours or whatever. But yeah, so I'm giving up for the day, but I also, one thing I try to do on a daily basis is just engage in some sort of personal development. So I am trying to learn a couple different languages on Duolingo. I am doing an online course on photography to try to learn to use my like nicer camera better. And then, what else am I doing? Oh, I work with a coach. I work with a couple coaches actually, so I do that a couple times a week. So yeah, so I'm just constantly trying to like grow and learn more about the world and develop new skills and all of that kind of thing too. Also I have a ukulele that I'm trying to learn how to use, although that's a little bit on the back burner right now. But yeah, so I think that's one thing that I always encourage people to do if they're like, what do you do when you don't have enough time? It's like, there's like a million things you could learn and do. And yeah, I love having the space to do that, especially because I'm alone most of the time. So yeah, that's my personal development spiel. So it is starting to get late, so I have two options for you for the night. One would be to make a super simple dinner, set up the projector, and have just like a relaxing little movie night. Or the other one would be to cook a more extensive dinner and then just read and pass right out afterwards. So if you want to cook the more extensive dinner, then stay right here. And if you want to do the projector, see how that gets set up for a movie night, then you will just click the link above or below in the comments and go to that video. So you choose, how do we spend our night together? All right, so you chose to have the nice meal, which thank you because I am starving, so it should be a really great meal. We are going to make burritos today, some Mexican spice burritos. I know a lot of people in van life are vegetarian, vegan. Totally understand why and respect that. I was vegetarian for 3.5 years, 3 years. And I just felt really sick most of the time. I can't really eat grains very much, definitely no gluten, and I try to limit my grain intake. Like I'll have a little gluten-free tortilla with this, but I don't really eat like rice very often or even corn really. So to do that and be vegetarian on top of that is very difficult, but I do try to always source my meat from as good of locations as possible. I'll do a whole video about food and where I find food and how I go to different farmers markets and find different farms along the travels to buy like the best sourced meat that I can. You know, if I can't find anything, I'll go to natural grocers or something like that. But yeah, so all grass-fed meat tonight. All right, so I got my ingredients all laid out here. Some some veggies, cilantro, onions, cheese. And then I got my little cooking implements, the nonstick and the first cast iron, because I just do not believe that you should ever cook meat not in a cast iron. And then I will open this up there, keep things vented out. That's maybe not the healthiest thing, but taco seasoning, does it get any better? I don't think it does. All right, then a little cheese on the tortillas with a little bit of cayenne pepper. Just make it a little bit of a spicy. These gluten-free tortillas, the Rudy's ones, they're not my favorite. The Mission ones are way better, but these will do. Just go with what I can find. So just use a little bit of onion and then put the rest in this reusable bag so that I'm not using a bunch of Ziploc bags. Also, it's so cute. Look at the little cacti. So I've got all my little condiments here. I've got the onions, spinach, cilantro, lime, and then I have both sour cream and a chili lime crema because I love sauce. There you go. Definitely nothing fancy. You can see my fancy garnish. You know, I mean, in the end, like, I'm not a chef, but I know what I like, and I love cooking for myself and making a little night of it. And this is something pretty easy that anybody can make in a van. You don't need like the freezer, the oven, all of that stuff. I do like to cook fancier meals sometimes, you know, full steak dinners and all of that. But when I'm by myself, something fairly quick, easy, you know, the cleanup takes a little while and you got to do it right away because in a small space, it's like immediately trashed. Also, I will say having some ice is nice to make a little cocktail. My favorite tequila drink is just tequila, club soda, and lime, the ranch water, as you may say. So I have this little soda stream here, because otherwise I drink way too much club soda. Go through a ton of cans. Shall we check in with Sterling and see how he feels about the giant thing of meat? All right, so kind of a messy van to clean up, but right now I've got my meal, I've got a book, reading the Stormlight Archive. Any Brandon Sanderson fans out there? Woo, a little fantasy for you, really increase this nerdiness factor a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this dinner and read, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Well, that was delightful. Now to clean up, I like making extra meat like this because then I have something just quick, easy to throw in. I really do think like the easier the better a lot of times when it comes to food, when you're cooking for yourself and in a van in such a small space. You know, if you can just have some leftovers that you can just throw in the next day, primo. All right, it's time to wash my face and brush my teeth and climb on into bed. It's about that time of night. The helpful thing about being a night person is that I can deal with this nutso late at night while the old guy sleeps. And then she sleeps through the night with me rather than going crazy and attacking me all night long. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this little choose your adventure journey. I am going to be going to sleep now, but I hope that whatever little adventure you decided to join me on today, whether it was staying in camp and getting things done that I needed to, and just enjoying being in a beautiful spot, or mountain biking on a little solo adventure, or meeting up with my friend and taking Anara on her first hike along with Sterling, that you enjoyed your day. And if you did enjoy this video, if you could like, share, subscribe, turn on all the notifications, it does help kind of keep this little show going. And let me know, what you would like to see in future videos. Really enjoyed spending the day with you kind of virtually, having you come along with me. I wish I could adventure with you all, and maybe I will see you out on the road one day. For right now, I'm going to listen to all the locusts outside. It's a warm night, 60 degrees here in Arkansas. It's been cold nights recently, so this is kind of nice. I get to have my skylight open and listen to the locusts as I fall asleep. So it is a great night, and it's been a great day, and have a wonderful rest of your day as well. I will see you next week.